good. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. Just to let you know, this will be on radio and online. So a bit of both for you.
Cool. Awesome.
So first thing, thank you for joining Talk Wrestling. Delighted to be here with Mandy Rose, killing it at the moment on Smackdown, and indeed had a big WrestleMania moment with her boy Otis. Let's start with that. I've seen you talk about it a little bit in terms of, you pitched it and, how it worked out. But talk to us about how the story went along, right? Because it was kind of a long-running thing that led to WrestleMania. A lot of ebbs and flows. Dolph Ziggler got involved, all of these things. So how did you picture it, I guess, when you pitched it?
So yeah, that moment was amazing. I'm so happy the way it resonated with all the fans, and it's been quite the adventure. I think the whole storyline has been awesome. I think we've taken it slow. We've started back in November, and it's just been a really good, happy storyline, and that fans can relate to, obviously. And yeah, when I first went to Vince and talked about it, it was I didn't think that it would be this big, to be honest. I thought it would be really cool. And I thought, I think everyone loved it in the locker room and all, about like how Otis was always obsessed with me because this is going on from NXT days. So it was always very like comical and funny. And so everyone seemed to love it there. They'd be like, that's going to be something huge, whatever. And I was just like, oh, it'd be cool. And I think, I think it's time maybe Sonya and I go separate, and whatever it may be, we can involve Otis. And Vince obviously loved it, and he's a genius in anything that he does, and he put together something really crazy with the combination of writers and with our ideas as well. Like there was a lot of contribution, which was good, and I think that's why it turned out so well, because a lot of us were involved and were able to put our 2 cents in here and there. So yeah, it's been awesome, but I really had no idea it was going to be this big, and I couldn't be more happy and grateful for it.
I mean, you mentioned maybe you thought it was the time for you and Sonya to split. Was that kind of a motivating factor too, that you felt maybe as a tag team? Because, and this is probably another conversation to have, that women tag teams should have been more featured at different points. But do you feel like that you two had either run your course, not as a team, but in fact that you couldn't do that much as a team?
Yeah, I think at that point we were, and Sonya and I, obviously we're so close, and we would be on road trips and we'd be driving and we'd just be coming up with ideas of like, oh my God, it'd be so cool if we went this way, and whatever. And because our friendship is so real, and it's been so real for so many years, we knew that, eventually our feud was going to be really cool. And I think if we did it the right way, it feels so real. And I think a lot of, the recent weeks we've shown that. So yeah, I think it was time. And I think it was obviously a lot of fun tagging with her, but I think we both are two very different people as well. We meshed well together, and we had good chemistry together and all, but I think it was time to showcase ourselves in another light, in a singles competition, and kind of show other character attributes of both of us.
I mean, it just kind of reminds me of like Shawn Michaels and Triple H, in the sense that, good friends make great enemies. And
exactly.
I feel like it was on SmackDown the other week, and both of you were doing those promos, and even like, I don't know if you probably did see, but the whole internet was like, whoa, like almost, not that you didn't have it in you, but it was the first time that people had really seen both of you on the mic at that kind of level. After you've done those promos, you're going backstage, you're like, okay, like, now we're proving something.
Yeah, that night was like, we were both so happy, just because sometimes you just need that opportunity. Sometimes you just need the time to be able to express yourselves, and obviously time is crucial, and sometimes we don't get the amount of time that we wish for in matches or promos or whatever it is, and it's hard to showcase your true character or personality and different emotions. And this storyline was so so good and so real, and that it was actually really such a good segment. And I thought it was interesting, because with the closed set and no fans, I actually thought it turned out like better with a closed set, because it felt like, and other people had said it too, it just felt so closed up and intimate. Like just intimate. Exactly. And it was it worked out, obviously, and nothing of this was ever planned to not be in front of fans and stuff. So Yeah, that night we were on cloud nine. It was a good night.
I mean, you obviously you said you pitched this Otis angle. Was there any other ones maybe down the line that you guys had thought either working together as a team or solo? Because obviously there was all those reports when the Liv Morgan storyline came out that maybe Sonya had pitched something for you two to do down the lesbian route or whatever it might have been. Was that ever something that really came into consideration?
Yeah, I mean, we've always pitched different things. We were like always thinking of ideas, and like everyone should be. You always want to give the writers and the producers ideas for your own character because you know yourself best. But yeah, that was definitely an idea we pitched ourselves. Like actually a while ago, and like during NXT days, we thought about that. But it's things happen, things change, might be suited for other people, whatever it may be. But in the end, I think it all worked out. I think this storyline turned out, really well, and as most of you can agree. So, it is what it is, right? With that stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I think another thing I wanted to touch on, we're talking about the women getting chances. Well, first of all, it's awesome that women have got secondary stories, right? So it's not just Bailey and Sasha with the title anymore. It must be nice to have found a story
Yeah,
where you get more stories on the show. One guy that I know, having spoken to a lot of you, who has been important down the years is Finlay. Of course, very upsetting
love
now that
it.
he's not with the company. What was
I
that day like
know.
knowing that Fit's
Ugh.
leaving?
All of us, especially the women, were like really upset about that. I mean, he's an amazing man, but he has been so helpful for all of the women especially, and like has had our backs for like a lot of the matches, the big matches, that we've had, and kind of was the one that, like, if anyone ever doubted us, or let's say, like, well, no, it might not be that good, whatever it may be, like, Fit was like the one, like, no, the women are going to take home the show, they're going to be the best, like, they should be main event, they should, like, he was just always in our favor, which is really nice to have, like, a man like that, excuse me, that is in our favor, and and so passionate about it too. And we just, I mean, we always wanted Fit to produce our matches, like, across the board, all the women love Fit. And he's just has so many great ideas. And he was, obviously amazing back in the day and all. And he's just a really, really great guy.
He definitely is. He definitely is. I mean, when we're talking about women getting chances and getting a helping hand, I feel like when you first stepped into WWE, obviously because of how attractive you are and whatnot, people associate a certain stigma. I think that Trish Stratus might have got originally, and you kind of have to prove it through your work that it's not just a look thing. How do you? Did that ever like put a chip on your shoulder? Did you ever feel that? I guess talk me through those comparisons and how you found proving yourself in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously, it was from day one tough enough when I didn't even know much about the business. And I'm like, wow, I'm like, I thought it was so strange. I'm like, everyone liked me in the fitness world and this. I'm like, why does nobody like me here? I don't get it. Like the fans.
Yeah.
So it was definitely really weird to me. And then I actually was like, screw it, I'm gonna embrace this. And then I obviously, got more intuitive with everything and was like, no, like I can be a really good bad guy or whatever it may be. So, but yeah, I think ever since then, when I embraced it, and then I was like, no, but now this is like, I have to prove myself. And it's still every day, I still battle that. Like now, even today, when I'm in this, I've come a long way and I'm in a great storyline, but I'm still always like in my own head and being like, I have to prove myself because I know how it is. And I didn't grow up, wrestling. I was an athlete, but I didn't have much experience. And I could see, that stigma that people have on pretty girls, and they're just here and they just look good and blah blah blah. But like that's not me. I have a good athletic background. I'm I'm a bikini world champion. So like I know, I'm strong and all these other things that like, so it is something that I do have to prove. But it's I think now it's at the point where I'm confident in the ring. I'm always learning and working to get better. So I think every day it's gotten better for me, and I think eventually, I think all the fans and people, and they have already, but we'll see that, I'm not just a pretty face.
Yeah, for sure. But definitely over the past couple of years, I think you've definitely hit your stride
Yeah.
in that regard.
Thank you.
when it comes to like the God's greatest creation thing, right? Because that's the case of, like you just said, like embracing it. I guess you have, if you're going to be that character, you have to. Was that a Vince idea? Is that a you idea? How does that come about?
Which the God's Greatest Creation, or
Yeah.
actually Corey Graves came up with that. I got to give him credit.
No wonder he loves it so much on commentary.
Yeah. Yeah, he came up with it during a match one time. He said, she's like, God's greatest creation, whatever he said. And I was like, that's my new tagline. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we joke around that, like, I owe him on that one. I got to give him some of my royalties. But yeah, and it was cool, and I liked it, and I needed something different because, I was going by the Golden Goddess for a while in NXT, and then, they started calling Alexa the Goddess, which I was like, okay. But anyway, and then, so I was like, yeah, I need a new name anyway, but I think it suits me well. And, just gotta give Corey Graves credit for that one.
I feel like while I've got you here, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up my compatriot Paige, obviously, who had a hand with you when you first came up to the main roster, Absolution and all of that. What was it like kind of getting under the learning tree with someone like Paige, who is, let's just say, deeply rooted into the business?
She's awesome. Yeah, she was, like I said, like, she's just also been such a good leader and mentor, and just fun. We had so much fun with Paige, and it was like full circle. She was hard on us and tough on us because for the show, and and I was a little intimidated by her then, because I was like, I don't know if this girl likes me, but then going up on Monday Night Raw with Absolution with her, and it was just like full circle. And she still to this day is always reaching out to us and saying how proud she is in certain things. So she's just always been amazing, and I love her. She's the best.
I mean, obviously you were there that night, but unfortunately her career really came to a close. That must have been super difficult.
Oh yeah, oh God, that was so scary. Oh my God, it was like our third or second, I forget which one, but it was the first, it was the holiday tour, I believe, and it was like our third live event of me and Sonya, and oh my God, like, let alone, like, I was still kind of new and haven't worked with these girls that much, and then all of a sudden this happens. I'm like, oh my God, what do we do? It was very scary. Yeah.
Just quickly closing then before we wrap up here, we're talking about women and the things that can do. A lot of people are pining for a lot more women's wrestling in terms of an Evolution 2, maybe a Queen of the Ring, another Mae Young Classic. Are they all things that you would love to see happen in the company? Is there anything in particular that you would love to see?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see an Evolution 2. I think that's obvious, but I mean, in particular, I just think the women obviously have been killing it. They've been raising the bar at the past couple of years, and it's only going to get better for us. The women main event, the women have really just, like, the people want to see the women, and that's awesome. And it's such a great time to be a woman in sports entertainment in general, not just WWE, but so I'm super proud, and I think it's only going to get better. It's only going to get bigger, and who knows what's going to be next for us, but I think an Evolution 2 would be really cool.
Well, I totally agree. And I think it's great that there's such fanfare for it. It's not just a couple of people calling for it, right? There's universally people are asking when, which can only be a good sign. But Mandy, thank you so much. I know we've pretty much run out of time today. Really appreciate you stopping by Talk Wrestling. And hopefully when all of this is dying down, maybe I'll see you soon.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you very much. You too.